What are the 3 Ps to a profitable crypto portfolio? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be using VeChain and VeThor as the example, and I'm going to show you what I've learned, what my thinking process was, and how I have got to those 3 Ps. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, for lighting up that bell so that you get my notifications of when I release a new video, for liking the videos, and most importantly, for your comments. I will always reply personally within a 48-hour period. And if you see some type of, do you want investment advice, contact this WhatsApp number. That's not me. So let's get into these 3 Ps. The first thing that I have learned here, I've been trading properly now for, let's see, I started really doing, I went in mid-December, but I really said, okay, I'm all in here with this. I've been going January, February, March, almost April. So I'm at around, basically I'm at 4 months right now. And I would say that the biggest lesson that I have learned, the most important P that I'm going to start with here, is patience. Patience is absolutely critical, because there's times where I like to think that I am very centered and grounded, and I am most of the time, but crypto is extremely volatile. And so when a piece of news comes along, someone who's a big influencer, or there's some type of big political news that creates massive FUD, there can be a knee-jerk reaction. I've also seen that from a number of people in the comments. And just in general, what I see around the space of people panic buying, panic selling, buying high, selling low. And that is because I think there's just this innate need within people to, it's like, we want the quick results. Most people do want quick results. The idea of, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Now, with some crypto over these past few years, it seemed too good to be true, but it has come true. So it's important not to be greedy. That's where what I've learned, one of the things I learned in the past few months, is where I thought, oh, I'm not greedy. I'm, because a lot of the ways I have simplicity in my life and I am careful with my spending. But I did start to see that potential for bigger gains bring out greed for me. And what I realized is that, in terms of, if I had been patient, if I hadn't gone, oh, well, that's not performing how I want, let me just go and move my, sell this and then go into this instead of jumping around, if I just committed to going into certain tokens and just stuck with them, that I would have seen greater gains. So I think that making that choice, having patience, is really key. So that is the first one. And I'm just going to go here and share my screen, and we're going to go over here. This is in my coin tracker. And let's see. So I first bought VeThor gas, and at the same day I bought VeChain. I bought VeChain as well. Can we see that? I think that's on the next page. It's just because I pulled up VeThor here. So March the 21st. Let's go over to the chart here, and I'm going to share with you what my mindset, what my thinking was. So let's see, April. And if we go back, let's go back to, what did I say, March 21st. Let's go back. Here we go. Where am I? That's still April. I'm going to go actually onto an hourly chart instead. It's going to make it easier for me to see this. So let me go along the bottom there. March 21st. Come. There we go. Right around there. So the price then, you can see right before then, the news came out. There was a lot of excitement around VeThor gas. And you can see prior to that, it hit a high of 0.025 almost. Oh, yeah, 0.025. Now, I had been looking back earlier in February when it was around 0.00 oh, what was it? Like around, yeah, 0006. It was way back. It was further back here. It was, yeah, it was, I remember 0.006. There I'm looking, I have to go further back. And I remember seeing it, it looked so crazy. I was too scared to go into it. So I waited this whole period of time. I waited a couple of months and then I came in below the peak, like right below the peak. I bought slightly on the pullback. You can see it pull back all the way down to here to around one, actually all the way from here from the 20th going forward around 2 weeks. About 2 weeks later, it retraced to 0.013. Sticking with this point of patience, what if when it hit that peak, I just said, you know what? There's going to be pullback. That's something that I have repeatedly written in lessons. When I write in my journal, what are the lessons that I've learned here? Everything always pulls back. It always retraces before it climbs again. This is just what happens. It doesn't seem that there is a single token that is that it doesn't affect, including Bitcoin, as we see. So if I had waited those couple of weeks, if I had had the patience, I could have bought in there instead, because I can see, okay, well, there's a pretty good likelihood that we're going to climb back up to that high that happened here. But I bought in at 0.0202 and 0.0197 and 190. And then that leads me to the next P here, which is peace. Something that I've noticed for me, and you let me know in the comments if you go through this, but sometimes when I buy something, I go through this, I'll mentally beat myself up of, what if I could have got a better price? Probably because I know that if I had been patient, I could have got a better price. What if I bought them back here? You know what, the risk was much higher back here, wanting to get those bigger gains where we can see, you know, look where I'm moving here with, if I just put here, let me just take a line, let me just put a trend line, and you can just see from this point here, I mean, look at this, look at how things increased. I think it went up like a few 100% that month, a few 100%. So in terms of when one makes a buying decision, it is really important to find peace around that. You have to just go, you know what, I'm buying here, I need to be okay with it. Because if we look at where we are in 2021, and I agree, I very much agree with, I think it's some DIY investing, Donovan Jolly. He talks about the 4-year cycle and how we are having a repeat of 2017. And that I just saw him talking about that. And I agree with that, resonates with me a lot. That is what my gut feeling. I have been very much, I am in line with that. So if we take this idea of patience and now the second point of peace, if I think about where are we going to be, if look at where we went, how that increase went from early in February up to in March, in a month, look at that rise. Well, worst case scenario, if there is a slow climb, so let's just move over here, we don't have as big as an upward trend right now because there was a lot of consolidation. There was a lot of pullback overall in the market that's happening, right? So if we just do another line here, another trend line, and I'm just going to go, let's just go from this high point here, and we're going to go, let's put that to here, right? So it's not as, let me just move this tool over. Let me just move that down here. You can see it's not straight up. We can't, keep going straight up like this, but you can see where we are right now today on the, the 27th, I think we're in the 27th. What's the date? I'm trying to remember. What is our date? Hang on. Yeah, 27th of April, that we're getting ready to go parabolic again. And I still, even though I bought back here in March, there are moments where I do not have peace. I catch myself and I don't have peace around, I go, gosh, if I just bought back here when it was 0.006, if I had just waited and been patient, and if I had just bought back here when it was 0.013, I'm going to practice patience at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to do with that, but for me to go and sell my VeThor gas when it's right here at, where are we at, 0.025, I tell you, I did sell a tiny bit of it the other day because I wanted to go into some new listings. And so I sold a little bit of it, but I've kept the majority of it. And I sold, what was it, like 190, 198. You can see here, just recently, we went down to 0.0116. We dipped down, and 0.136 from back, back over here. There is that support line that is there. But where I'm at now is making that decision of what do I do next? What do I do moving forward? In the first few months of trading, I've held on to certain things, and then I've taken profits on certain other things, and then I've jumped around a bit as well of, this isn't performing, let me go from here to here. And I see that that's not a good thing to do. It's not I don't think it's a good thing for me to do anyway. So this is why the second P I am focusing on is peace. And then the third P is this idea of practical profits, because the potential to be able to make 100x, 1000x, we can see it in the charts. Look, let's just go for a second. I want to just come out of this. Let's hop over to VeThor over here. Let's come over to this. And you can see, okay, in the last 30 days, right, we've only had an 11.9% increase. But when the pump happened recently up to 0.289, it was, I mean, in one day it went up 42%. But if we look at the year, 6,000%. So, where will it be a year from now? Would it be up another 6,000%? I think the only way to, I mean, maybe not 6,000, but it could do 1,000x. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. Well, based on that, again, this goes back to this idea of having patience for the token to perform, being peaceful around the buying decision, and just making that commitment to it and sticking with it. And then in terms of this idea of practical profits, just saying what is realistic, like making a decision. And this is something I'm going to do moving forward with my trades. When I buy something for my portfolio, I'm going to say, at what point, what is practical for me, and in terms of my investment, how much I have committed, how soon, where is that right timeline for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to double here, or I'm just going to make my money back, hopefully gain 20% on the original investment, and then leave the rest in to ride, say, potentially up to that 1,000%? Or do I want to stay in there with everything I put in and wait for a 10x, knowing that the rest of 2021 we are starting to move into that parabolic state for the market? It is following right after we had that bloodbath last week. I would imagine we're going to have at least 3, 4, maybe 5 more mini bloodbaths, and then there will be that volatile, that massive, that violent movement to the upside. So, I was just thinking today, I see it was a little bit scary seeing this down here. And I'm looking at where we are today and going, well, do I want to take out some profits? Do I want to go I have, gosh, I have close to 9 Ethereum. I had sold an Ethereum, just over an Ethereum, to go into some other tokens. And I don't want to sell any of my Ethereum. I'm not selling any of it at all at this point. And I wanted to take a little bit of wait for this to go back up, the VeThor to go back up to reach this 0.289 again. But then I say, how long is it going to take to move up to that? Well, let's see. If we went from here, March the 21st to here, and this was like 247 to 289 plus another, so another 40. I mean, what, in a month from now, if we're looking at price prediction, let's see, end of April, May, and the way it because of VeThor being connected to VeChain, we should be touching 3 cents. I mean, like, we should not just touching 3 cents, we should be back within that realm of by the end of May, possibly even 3.5 cents, moving up to 4 cents. So I have to figure out what I go through in my head. And sometimes I'll do some journaling and write around it just to get it out of my head. What is that best thing to do? What is going to be that practical time for me to take profits on my VeThor? And so I'm just deciding now, do I go all the way up back to here because I think we're moving back up there within the next, we could be there within, look at these moves again. This could happen within days. We could go back to test around 2.289. And then it's going to come back down, I believe, with a higher low, probably where the resistance becomes support. Probably like that new support line would be right here around. Let me just put that in. Let me just put this horizontal line in. I think maybe right around here where this line is thicker. I'm just going to change the color on that. Let's make that, hang on, let's make that green. So this is going to become, let's make that line thicker. So for VeThor gas here, I think that this is going to become more of a support line. So why would I go and sell it now? Yeah, I've heard some FUD definitely because VeThor gas, because one gets the rewards. And I've started in Binance US. I've been receiving those automatic staking rewards from owning VeChain as VeThor gas. But you can't use VeChain without having VeThor gas. So there has to be some value there with it. And then I think about, well, VeChain, I imagine, will hit, there's definitely hit $1 this year because we have this whole parabola that's coming. So if that hits $1, why would VeThor not hit that 10 cents? Why can I not trust and just be patient and have peace that it's not unrealistic? And if 10 cents, if I want to do practical profits, maybe I just go for 6 cents or 8 cents. So now is not the time for me to make a move with my VeThor gas. Just keep it there. So I think it's important. Sometimes you want to check in and just be able to just see what is that right move for you. And let's take a look a moment at VeChain as well. So yeah, you can see that it's interesting. On some days, VeChain, like the past few days when we had the bloodbath, VeChain started to move up quicker. VeThor goes negative, and then VeChain settles down. The gains aren't so big as the pattern, and then VeThor starts to go at a faster pace than VeChain. They're very, very much, obviously they're tied to each other because they're part of the same ecosystem. And let's just come over here to VeChain. And if I just go over, I think with my VeChain, I just want to show you, let's look up that up. Veet in my transactions. All right, where did I originally buy VeChain? I bought it here at 0.093 cents. I could have gone in, I think, at around 3 cents, but I didn't. Another P, I procrastinated because I wanted more evidence that it was going to perform. So I went in there, and then I just bought the dip again. I just bought this dip. Let's see further on. I bought it 18 cents. So that dip, I mean, it's double, right? From where I bought here in March, there's a month. We overall, with all the pullbacks included, I've doubled what I have. If we just go to the performance in the portfolio, in my portfolio here, and this is off because Flycoin, they got Flycoin listed at the wrong price, but you can see here my VeChain within a month, I'm up 92.63%. And some of my VeThor I'd moved over to Gate.io exchange. It's not recognizing it on there right now. I'm trying to get the coin tracker to fix that. But just here, you can see on this, it says I'm plus 3%. So VeChain is definitely overall performing better than VeThor token in that period of time. We've got almost 100% gains and only 3% gains here on the VeThor token. Now, when I look at that, I go, gosh, I should maybe just sell the VeThor token soon, maybe around 240 something, or ride it up to 3 and then go over to VeChain. I mean, this is where I just drive myself nuts. So, but these are the things to look at where you just, it's a good idea to look at, what is the reality, look at the numbers, and to be able to go past the emotions. And if we just check where things are today, let's just go here to, this is on the daily chart. At the moment, we're moving towards overbought territory. But it doesn't really look like it on the chart. We're in this, let's just go to a 15-minute here on the chart. Let's just look at for VeChain, where, this was the time to buy the other day. And I bought right around here, right around there. But you can see we are moving upwards again. Let's put that trend line, and let's just go from here and go from where the support is. So long as we don't break down below there, let's just go with a nice green. And let's just also look at where this support is now moving forward from where we are today. Let's just do a horizontal line. I'm going to put it right. It looks pretty strong right around here, because this just dropped below because of the entire market. But we're looking right around 50, like close to 16 cents. There is a strong line of support. And if we look at, let's go for the resistance here for VeChain, and let's go with another horizontal line, and we'll do it in red. Let's just take a look here, right around here. That is where the resistance is. Let's just extend this slightly. Hang on. So yeah, so just in summary with VeChain, where we're at today, a support line of just under 16 cents and a resistance line of 22.5 cents. And we are in an upward trend. And now what we're going to see in these, probably within this next day or so, are we going to break out? Is there going to be another breakout for VeChain? Which I think there is, because everything, the markets are all up right now. Bitcoin's up, Ethereum has hit an all-time high. So, I mean, I have not had any thought of selling my VeChain. That was something I very much had peace around. I like getting the staking rewards, and I feel super strong in it. That leads me back to VeThor, that if VeChain goes, and let me just go with another line here. Let's go with a vertical. Oh, hang on. Let's go actually with no, not with that. Let's just go with let's come back here to the vertical line. Oh, I know, an arrow. Let's go with an arrow actually, and we'll go here like this. If VeChain can start to, and let's go green. If VeChain can start to go up like this and break out, and this is right around, we're looking at, I don't know, in about a day, in this next a day to 2 days, then it should be that VeThor would be following and going to try and maybe not retest that 0.289, but at least go back up to around 0.24. So if you are new to VeChain and VeThor and you're exploring it and thinking, is this a token? Is this good to go into? Because there's over 8,000 tokens. I think it's 8,500. There's so many projects coming on every day. You only have so much capital available to put into certain projects. Where do you go? What do you do? What's a safe bet? There is no safe bet. Like, there just isn't. So that is the decision of, I think that what's important, like I said before, in summary, is making a decision for your portfolio and then just finding peace around the choice you made, not second guessing yourself. Once you've done your due diligence, then stick with it. That is what I am going to do my best to focus on doing moving forward, instead of just going, what next. And I will keep tracking and looking at how is the performance. If I hear any bad news or see any really major red flags, but the pullback that happens organically, that is just part of moving up to that next level to get to that higher high, that's normal. I'm not worried about any of that at all. So I overall do feel peaceful. I feel very peaceful about VeChain. I don't feel as peaceful around VeThor because I think it just has more volatility around it. I'm definitely not going to day trade it. It's just too crazy. It's something that I just look at. I'm just going to hold on to it for a while. And then probably what I plan to do is my original investment that I put in. You see, what I'd learned from this, and you have to see for yourself what feels right for you. But I just wish that, the investment, I just go back here and show you again. If we go back to VeChain, you see, I had originally, what was my, this doesn't show this, the original cost basis of what I did. But I think I originally did around it was like around 3,000 VeChain US dollars and about just over $11,000 in VeThor, because I thought, I want the cheaper token. Like, I want the one that's going to give me more. I want those hundreds of thousands of VeThor gas versus having 30,000 VeChain. And I think now that I look at that differently, I'm going to focus on having more balance. I'm having more balance. So I have in my portfolio what I believe is super solid. I have my Ethereum and I have a little bit of Bitcoin at the moment. And then sort of what I consider those medium risk tokens like VeChain and Harmony. And what are some of the other, hang on a sec. I just want to show you briefly what I consider sort of that medium risk level. I mean, like Gate token, I feel very, very solid on that. Things like OMG, it's upside down right now, but and Venus is upside down, but I feel like they're very strong overall. They're more of a medium risk. And then I have things that are extremely high risk that some people would say as pure stupidity, but I actually, that's what it's working for me at the moment. I'm okay with being, I know you can look at Safe Mars, I'm upside down here, 886, Akita Inu upside down, $1,200. But I've started receiving rewards. That has been an interesting process with that, with Where is it? If I go to, where is that in my, if I go, I think it's all the way down in my rewards, the last thing I'm going to show you here, because it's sort of interesting to see. Where is that? Yeah, I've started to rebate. I've started to gain rewards in Safe Mars here. Look, you can see I've got, what is that? 199,000 Safe Mars, more 59,000 Safe Mars, rewards in Safe Moon, 671, 582. And I just think it's just going through pullback right now. Just, again, this is where I'm applying this idea of patience, letting whatever the token is to perform, peace around the decision I've made, that investment. If I'm going into that certain token, don't freak out, don't panic, and then just go sell and try and jump into something else. Don't chase. And then that practical profit. At what point am I going to pull out profits? Well, if it ever goes to profit, but I do believe Safe Moon, Safe Mars, Akita, Inu, Shiba Inu, I do think that those coins are going to perform, and but I will make sure that I take out what I originally put in and then take those profits and then see if I can ride the rest up and just let it be. So that's my focus. Please let me know in the comments, what are you doing? What is your strategy? Do you hold VeChain? Do you hold VeThor? Are you bullish? Are you bearish on them? Are you, is there a certain deadline that you've set a date or a price point for pulling out your profits? And yeah, I look forward to having a conversation with you around that. So thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next video. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network, and I'm sending you lots of love.